So I have a scenario question to start us off.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's rapid fire. We're
This
going.
is nervous. We no lube just jumped into this.
So I'm going to Barcelona,
Okay.
and I'm messy. I travel. People give me free weed products sometimes.
Okay.
I bring a little weed, little things, nothing
Okay.
crazy. And every time I go internationally, though, I go, Brittany Griner, remember Brittany Griner.
Yep.
But as I do it, I'm like, I can totally see fucking this up. I have little crevices. I put a mint thing here, mint thing there.
You got little crevices.
So you go internationally.
Yeah.
You forget you got some weed, something.
Mm-hmm.
You get arrested. This is next year, so Trump is president again.
Yeah.
You are arrested, and you are going to be in jail for 10 years. Trump's team comes to you, says, hey, the big man wants to get you out. We're going to make a trade. We're going to give a couple war criminals to get you back home.
Okay.
You have to, though, endorse and campaign and publicly speak for Trump, or stay in this prison in, let's say, Prague.
Prague?
That's
Doesn't
not so
sound that bad.
10 years in prison.
Have you seen Broke Down Palace, starring Claire Danes and somebody?
I remember it.
They
but
were in
it was
Cambodia,
Thailand or something.
Thailand,
Yeah.
yes, and it was not good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I think to see my family again,
I'm going to do the campaign.
to have
I
a
don't
life,
care.
I think I would be like with my
At
cold,
that point,
dead eyes.
like, America's not America anymore. Campaigns mean nothing. Nothing means anything. A Trump second term, when it happens, we're done. It's cooked.
Yeah.
What does it
yeah.
matter?
Or
you
I
know?
would find a way to like make it funny. I'd be like, I endorse.
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah.
make it so stupid that they couldn't use a take. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Oh, that's
Sure.
You do
I'd
like
be
a character.
Yeah,
you're
I'd be like,
That's my favorite.
But that sounds actually like some of the people that they really bring out.
Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah.
They're all putting on a character because
Yeah.
they don't want to do it.
And they keep using all of it.
well, I'm not going to get caught with any weed though traveling because
I just did it though,
can't
and it
do
wasn't. It was an accident. I forgot I had it in my bag.
No one's checking. I travel with.
No, I know, but it is that thing where you're like internationally. There's a fear, you know.
Yeah.
I forgot a bag of gummies. Yeah.
I sometimes will have dogs at the baggage
Yeah,
thing, and
yeah,
I'm
they
like,
have dogs.
do dogs smell weed?
Do they?
I don't know.
I think the
I'm
dog should
Googling
be
it as the
testing-
dog's sniffing.
I think the dog should be testing for cancer because I feel like, we just need better healthcare in this country.
Yeah.
And like it would just kill two birds with one stone as you're passing through. They would like be checking you for cancer and drugs at the
The
same
airport
time.
is brutal enough, let alone finding out you have cancer.
while you're waiting in line. And
listen,
you're on a
airport
terrible flight.
We lost your
Sorry.
bag, but there's some even worse
Sorry, the
news we need
plane's
to
gonna be
address.
flying. The plane's gonna be crashing as you fly in it
God.
anyways. So
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patreon exclusive, but if you're still able to watch this part right now, you got a camera here too. If
Oh,
you want
yeah.
to give a
This
look
is
to the
just-
camera.
It's so. Hi.
Well, this is coming out Saturday. If it doesn't come out Saturday, I want you to know at home something really bad happened. Something in
bad
my
happened,
system
or
failed.
we said something and then we're like, well, we got to cut that out,
Yes.
and it's like editing.
Yeah,
you know.
if you want something cut out,
You know.
too bad.
Yeah.
Watch
no.
your goddamn mouth.
all our Trump material.
I wanted to say one of the things we're doing. I want you guys to join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. So what I'm doing, it's kind of I don't know if it's shitty. We have if you go to the Patreon and you watch this full episode, at the end, unless Russell refuses it right now, I have video footage that was sent to me by his friend of Russell singing "If I Were a Rich Man" in his 7th grade production of Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay.
Do I have your consent that at the end of this episode we're all gonna watch that
A portion of it. We're not going to watch the
portion.
full song.
Okay.
Is this the one where you did the gibberish thing?
I don't think you did it in
so.
this draft.
No, I'm sure that they recorded a better version. But it's not going to be good. Listen, I already told that. It's bad. It's 7th grade.
Well, Tova was saying, she said, so when she said, what makes it for talent to come later? And I said, I don't know, because we've all seen kids that like, I always think like the Harry Potter kids were like talented kids, and then they like hit puberty, became self-aware, and suddenly the acting is so bad.
But that would also be like asking the Harry Potter kids to play Tevye. Do you know what I mean? Like when they're kids and on a stage in front of a big stage, you know?
Do you think they should have? Do you think for those shows they should pick shows that are about young people, or do you think it's just so weird to see?
Impossible. There are no shows about young people, and the ones that are about young people are like about young people
Inappropriate.
giving each other blowjobs in mall parking lots. So I
Yeah.
don't think that's good.
Sure.
Either.
Yeah, because then it's weird when you're doing Annie and you're like, here are the young kids who are like sometimes too old because
Yeah.
they're in middle school, but then the adults are the same. It's like
Yeah.
you have giant kids and baby adults. You know?
Yeah.
Did you ever have in middle school or high school a member of the staff? What do you call them? The
Faculty?
faculty. Jesus.
Yeah.
A member of the
Gianmarco goes to
crew.
special school.
Yeah.
A member of the crew.
I did go to school. We called them by our first names in my high school.
Yeah.
And it felt like cool.
Wow.
Did they ever play a cameo role?
Oh, yes.
No.
We had like our drama teacher.
I don't think so.
Our drama
we had,
teacher.
We had
like,
a pool teacher who
I'm sorry. Did you say pool?
like aqua, like we had a pool in our school, and he like
What?
ran
Whoa.
he ran the facilities there, and he was also a bit of a thespian, and he would play a role, and we had like a really old man that for a couple of years would show up and play like really old man parts. Like
would
he
have
would be
been
like
me.
the uncle at Sarah Brown's uncle in Guys and Dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Who has that one song, like the old man song.
Yeah.
But yeah.
our teacher forgot his line. He had one line.
Oh
and he
my
went out
God.
there. He went out there and he just went, and you saw him like completely freak out. And all of us on stage, have you had that moment? And it feels like an hour passes
Oh,
on
yeah,
stage.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
And
yeah.
no one knew.
Yeah.
I was in the ensemble, so I didn't even
Yeah.
know how to contribute at all.
Because he's also the teacher,
No.
so you're like,
you don't have the thing at that point either to like.
And the acting teacher. It's
You
like
know.
it's like if a math person had to like your math teacher had to leave a tip and you saw him just go,
freeze
you go, oh no, you're the guy.
Oh man,
We're here today. Very special treat.
it is.
Jessica Fry on the pod. Famously, it was your episode. I've said this before. Originally, we had Patreons that were just, we didn't release any of it. And yours was so good. We talked about birth.
yeah.
And it was so
Birthing.
good that I said, well, we can't just have Patreon exclusives without getting
Wow.
something.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that
just
was the moment.
too
Douglas,
good.
no. Chris, no. It was you.
Well, they have to give birth first for them to get the special treatment.
So, and I know Russell has been babysitting for you.
It's true.
I have
He's
been.
saved my ass.
It was so.
What
fun.
happened? You lost the babysitter?
No. So, okay, I'm doing a show right now where I'm getting paid literally under $3,000 for, a month and a half of work.
Yeah.
And we have babysitters every single night. And so it's just costing literally more to have babysitters than it is for me to
What's
do
the
the show. So
babysitter rate right now? I don't even-
$25 an hour, and I pay for their cab home.
Oh my
So I'm
god.
like,
And a tip?
Got to have a local hire. Usually not a tip. It's like a $25 an hour. Maybe I'll get their dinner.
I never did
sometimes.
that. Like when I was doing it, it was 20 an hour.
Yeah.
And they didn't not pay for travel. So that's a good
Yeah.
on you.
I used to have a family. I used to be a babysitter, and this one family did it for me. And I was like, I will return the favor. And I sometimes regret it, but I try.
Yeah.
I try to be a good babysitter
But
person.
you also try to find them close.
Yeah, try to find them
Close
real
to you.
close.
Were you
One
a-
time, a Brooklyn person, $80, and I was like, "That's fine, that's good. Here's all my money."
Oh
It was
my
so brutal.
God, yeah.
But yeah, Russell's just literally been helping me out. But Marga's obsessed with him, so
Oh, she's so
it's
fun.
very sweet.
Were you a good babysitter?
I think I was a really good babysitter. I was on my hands and knees one time finding someone's tooth because they were gonna put it under their pillow for the tooth fairy, and it got lost in their very, very
Yeah.
messy room. So I was looking amongst teeny tiny Lego pieces for a tooth.
Yeah.
For hours. And
Yeah.
the children was they were sobbing and screaming about how the tooth fairy wouldn't come. So I think I'm pretty good. I think I was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about disciplining?
Here's the thing about discipline. I feel like I'm going to push it, But I'm not going to push it too hard because I'm like, I don't know what the line is. If they're like, Mommy doesn't
they're not
make
your
me
kid,
do that. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, let's get from here to here with the easiest possible. I'm not going to like bribe them or whatever.
Sure.
But I also, if they're not my kid, I wasn't going to be like, you do this or else you're going in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do that.
Going in
with
the
any-
bathroom, that's your punishment? Did your parents ever punish you? It sounded like you were like, what do parents do?
No,
Yeah.
honestly, my parents didn't punish me. I was one
Well,
of
you
those kids. I
were
had a
you were an
hot
only
seat.
kid. It's
I was an
important to
only
say.
child.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like when parents have more kids, that's when they go,
Yeah.
you have to shut up, and that's
Yeah.
when you hit.
Well, oh God, definitely no hitting. But the only time I very distinctly remember the only time that my mom got like really mad, and it was I was sitting in my hot seat, which was like a plush, big, huge seat, and I was like
comfortable.
thinking about what I had done,
Yeah.
and I was screaming, and she came in, and it was around Easter time, and she took my Easter basket and she flung it against the side of the wall, and she was like, "Will you stop screaming?" And the Easter, like the grass was going everywhere. And my mom, who's like, this like at restaurants, she orders so quietly that you like can't hear her.
Oh,
She's
my
like
God.
very soft spoken, very sweet. And she like lost it. And I was like,
But if you fuck up her third order, she takes the bread basket and slams it on the table.
but that I was like,
Did
I
it
think,
shock
like,
you?
Oh my God. I was like, I'm sorry, I'll stop. And I stopped.
Yeah.
And I feel like
That's the
from
thing.
then
When
on, I
parents
never
save
crossed
it,
my
when
mom.
parents
When
save it, then it can be effective.
But if they
But
blow
if-
their wad right out, at any time it happens, then yeah, you're gonna be.
Because my stepdad, he did, and I don't really consider it hitting. Because by the way,
Oh, God,
plenty
what
of
did he do to you?
plenty of families still hit. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
part
yeah.
of like.
Yeah.
No,
You-
I
you
had
grew
it
up in
coming.
what,
I spoke out of turn. I had it coming.
No, he didn't do it to me, but he did to my sisters because he couldn't because I'm his stepson, and my dad would kill him.
Oh.
But he would do
Kill him.
he would do to my sister. Say, present your hand.
Oh yes.
Present your hand. Not a high five. Not a high
Oh.
five, you dumbass.
Oh.
It's like it feels like royalty. Like it feels like royalties. You're getting in trouble. You know.
Yeah, it's like a white guy.
the Pope is like.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if you
punishing
flipped
you.
it one day and gave it a little kiss.
Yeah.
Oh.
And said, I
Okay.
still love you. What was a punishment? Timeout? Grounding?
Yeah, timeout in my room. Things taken away. TV. You know, that kind of thing. No hitting, but those things. You know, things were taken away for sure. Toys, TV.
Were you a good kid or were you a brat?
Good. I think the most trouble I got into normally was like with my brother. Like
Yeah.
we would get in fights and like
Yeah.
you know, we would
Like physical fights.
physical fights and like that kind of thing. And so that's when like stuff would happen. And now thinking of it, you can like just see your parents being like, "Shut up! Like just shut the fuck up." Do you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
it's too much
Would
noise.
you beat your
and loud.
brother? Would you wrestle with your brother?
Yeah.
And were you just the dominant one?
Yeah,
Because
oh,
you're
yeah,
older.
Yeah.
Because I had the worst thing that I would do once in a while to my little brother. Like, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a 5-star or whatever." Or we'd be like,
What?
Do you know what a 5-star is?
No.
No.
Oh, class. You don't know what a 5-star?
No, what?
Classic. A bareback, and there's a 5-star mark.
Sounds so sexy.
You do it like
A bareback.
you do it in the
brother?
pool.
Brother?
You do it like
You've
pool.
got a thing
Oh,
with your
okay.
family.
Yeah.
But then the worst thing was like he would like it'd go too far. Something that he'd be in too much pain, he'd start crying. Then my stepdad would come in.
Yeah.
What's going on here? And I'd be like, we were rough
I know.
housing.
You try to
and he
explain.
got too hurt, and then he
Yeah.
would get mad at my little brother, and I'd be scot free, and that's a terrible.
We
thing.
would have fight of the months, we'd call it.
Oh,
And we would clear out the living room. Like we would clear out like a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And which is funny because neither of us really watch wrestling, but like we would clear out the pick up the couch cushions and stuff and use them as like a ring, and we would like thing, you know.
My father.
And it would start off fun sometimes, and then it would always escalate to actual like, oh, we're hurting each other, you know.
Well, I was super into wrestling. My father, he would let us put, because single dad, he let us put 2 mattresses stacked on top of each other in the middle of the living room. So we
just
jump
where he
off the
slept.
sides.
Yeah.
And
Poor guy.
and I had a guy, his name was Billy over, and I tried to do a move called like the figure 4, which is a finishing move, and like you put pressure on the leg against the leg. He immediately started crying, and I was like, "Oh, what have I done?"
Yeah.
There were
I
2
don't
kids in
know.
Florida. Someone killed the other kid, and that was like the big wrestling
Really?
controversy. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
yeah.
I never did this physical stuff. It was
'Cause
just
you
always
didn't have a
emotional
sibling.
manipulation. But when I would like go to kids' houses, I'd be like, if you don't do this, I'm leaving.
Like
I'm
what?
calling
Like
my
what?
mom.
Like what would you
you
make
I don't
them
know.
do?
Just like be like, I'm the boss, and like whatever I say goes. I was a
Wow,
monster. I think I was a
really?
monster. Yeah.
Really?
I was definitely like into dominating other kids with my with my will. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think that's like isn't that like a fairly common kid thing? Or you're both looking at me like that?
Not at all.
We were definitely dominated.
Okay.
But I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There was like a power dynamic in young childhood friendships where
Yeah.
you knew who was going to call the shots in a way that is maybe less clear now, or you like I
Let's
don't know.
hope.
What about being an only kid?
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything, or can you perceive of how other people are different, or how you're different because of that?
Big thing. When we go on road trips, okay, so my husband's also an only child.
Oh,
so when we
right.
go on road trips, if we like want to stop, if I want to stop at Arby's, let's say, and he wants to stop at Chick-fil-A, we stop both places.
Oh,
There's no compromise. We're like, you're getting what you want and I'm getting what I want.
Yeah.
So it's just the full experience of like, no, we're going to give each other the luxe version of this. We're
and
not
then
going
now
to
that you
like,
have Margot, you're gonna have a third. stop.
God. We're going to make 3 stops at 3 horrible fast food places, and then we're going to have diarrhea in 3 different states after that.
Do you? Did you and your husband? Do you think you ever have fights that are because you are both used to getting your way?
That's such a good question. I'm sure the answer is yes, but I can't immediately come and nothing comes
You
to
can't
mind.
think of a fight.
No,
Good for
honestly-
you.
Honestly, I have this weird thing where after I have fights with people or secrets, if you tell me a secret, I instantly black out and I'm like, "Grr," and then I completely forget it. And it's really bad. I think it's called being a bad friend.
Wait,
I have this thing when you
have
tell
a-
me something,
no,
I don't remember a single bit of
no,
it.
No,
and then
it's specifically with secrets. Like if you're like, I have a secret, I really do forget it. I have like a blackout. And same with fights. Like I can't
You won't
remember
remember
about
a
what fights
fight.
are about. Not really, except
oh
for
my
one.
God, no!
We
not
had a
to
fight about
not to
children.
be
you gotta fight about
Sure.
children.
Yes.
not to be too misogynistic. The idea that you forget every fight.
I mean,
is-
I kind
sounds
of
like the
do.
greatest trait in the entire world. I've never heard of
I'm
such
the
a thing.
greatest wife in the world.
Wow.
Tova's got
I
an
know.
alphabetical index. I mean, it's
Wait,
astounding.
but does that just in marriage, or you forget fights with anyone?
I think kind of anybody. I think.
You don't remember an Uncle Function fight?
Honestly, no. I can remember yelling, but I
You don't-
can't remember fight. Like I never remember
Do
the
you remember-
specifics
Can you remember?
of the
Can
fights.
you remember one Uncle Function fight?
Wait, I think I know what you're talking
Honestly,
about.
There was a thing that I was not there for, Jess.
God, what?
I think it's a long enough time that we can all jokingly about it.
What?
There was one time where
I kind of remember, but I don't remember the details at all.
it was at Citizen M. I had left.
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay.
And you were mad. There was some way that it was Chris or Douglas was saying something, and you were mad. And the way it was described to me was like just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, they
I
talked
was
about
like,
it.
I'm calling my mom and I'm gonna go home.
No,
if
it
you don't
was.
give me what
I
want.
remember this.
It was if
but
you
I
keep
have
bringing
no
this
idea.
up, I'm going
yes.
to.
Oh wow, you remember? And I weren't even there
Because I've heard the
No,
story.
I really,
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
heard
remember
the
this at all.
story.
Truly,
Yeah,
I've heard that. That's crazy.
I don't remember this at all.
It is a part of
can't
lore.
remember. I can't remember who it was directed at. I
I
can't remember if it was
have
Chris
no
or
idea.
It was
Douglas.
Chris. It was Chris.
It was Chris.
If you keep bringing this up,
Yeah.
something like that.
I
I
can't
remember it
what
was
it
very tense.
Chris could
And it's a way
describe the temperature.
I've never seen like it was just a you're like, oh, I've never seen that like kind of
Oh
thing.
wow, yeah. I don't fuck around. If you get in a fight with me, I will
could tell that.
rip your head off.
Yeah.
I will be like, I'm coming for you.
And then you forget
But then I
about
forget.
it.
I really do.
Yeah.
I black out.
I feel like I really like knew your dominance is when we did like Clown Bar together.
Yeah.
And I was the understudy for this role. And there was like one physical sequence that was with Jessica's character. And Jessica, like a marionette to a puppet, was like, no, it's this. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. You tell
Yeah.
me how this scene goes, and I am there.
Move people around on stage.
Yeah,
you know.
that's I'm
Dude, were
really good
you-
at giving other actors notes.
Were you there for the show? I've brought this thing up. You were there when we
What?
went to the box together as a
No,
group.
I wasn't. It was described to me later though. But I feel even though I didn't experience that, it's there, and I don't remember the fight that we had with Uncle Function. How is that
Yeah.
possible? Like I remember you all talking about. They were like, somebody stuck a whiskey bottle up their ass, right?
Oh no! It was someone tried to fist their own asshole
Wow.
and failed once, failed twice, and failed the third time too.
That's you know.
The third time though was the best because it got so close, and you thought maybe it's a ruse. Every
Wow.
listener's like, if we hear the fucking asshole for the story one
I
more
know.
time.
These poor people.
Oh, shoot.
These
It
poor
stuck
people
with
have heard
me.
this so many times.
It was too late. The show
Okay.
started at like 3. And by 5, I was like, I am.
Yeah.
You got to succeed at 5 a.m.
Have you ever gone to the? I've never gone to the
No,
that show.
I don't
Ooh, we
feel
could go
like
to the
I would.
box.
I wouldn't like it.
I think I would have fun.
I wouldn't.
Oh, you'd
like
have a blast. And like, there's so much music. There's too much music for me. Why wouldn't you like it?
I sometimes stuff like that makes me feel a little bit sad. I'm like, where have you been? Where have you come from? How did you?
Were you doing the
what?
lyrics to Cotton Eye Joe? Where did you come from? Where did you go?
How'd you get your fist in your ass?
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.